Hey, what's up? So last month my computer was in the shop for a few weeks, so I wasn't doing music production because I couldn't. So instead I thought it would be fun to practice some violin. And on top of that, I thought it would be cool to see how good I could get at the violin by practicing for 1 month and also adding some Studiomagic. So let me show you what happened. So to give you a little bit of context, the violin is the very first instrument I picked up at age 3, and I studied classical violin pretty seriously until I was about 12 or 13. I was okay at it, and got through the Royal Conservatory of Music grade 8 requirements, which might have been good enough for me to get into like a mediocre music school. By the way, RCM, if you haven't heard of it, is a Canadian music certification program with 11 grades, with the most advanced grade being equivalent to about a college degree in music. Anyways, I hated it, so I quit, and I haven't practiced the violin seriously since then. I have joined a community orchestra and played violin for them a few times, but never really sat down and practiced or any of that stuff. When I picked up the violin last month, I started by just leafing through some old violin books I had from my childhood. Most of the stuff was a little too easy, some of it was way too hard. I eventually stumbled upon Sarasate's Playera, which happened to be in my RCM grade 8 book, and that was just about right. Just hard enough that I couldn't play it well, but also not so hard that it was completely out of reach. So how did it go? Well, to keep myself accountable, I picked up my journal and wrote down every single thing I practiced for every single day of the month. On average, I probably practiced about 30 to 45 minutes a day, but on some days I did as little as just picking up the violin and running through Playera once. I mostly spent my time practicing etudes and studies. I didn't try to force myself to work on technique or anything specific because I just wanted to keep things fun. And at the end of the month, I definitely improved. There were still a couple of mistakes, as you can see. However, with a bit of Studiomagic, I got things to sound alright overall. So for my final recording of Playera, I did a few takes and took the best of those. Then I did a little bit of pitch correction, did a couple of overdubs for some egregious errors, and then for the accompaniment, I ripped a YouTube video accompaniment of Playera and time stretched it to fit the tempo that I had played, since I'd played without an accompaniment. And it was pretty revealing to me that I had a pretty inconsistent tempo throughout, which is challenging without an accompanist, but also kind of reflects my poor sense of time. So I definitely won't be throwing a violin concert anytime soon, but it was nice to refresh some of my skills from childhood and to see how far I could stretch Studiomagic when it comes to a string part. I think I've still got enough in me to play some backing violin for a pop tune or an ambient score, but definitely won't be taking any solos anytime soon. So that's it for today. If you want to follow along as I learn to become a music producer, then hit subscribe. I've got a recording of myself with no edits and no effects over here. And if you want to hear the completely edited and Studiomagic version, click over here. Okay, and last and probably least, I decided to pick up the violin a few days ago.